Hi guys, this is Vineet and I welcome you to this video. Today's topic is binary large objects, also known as blobs, and we are talking about blob data in SQL Server. So let's proceed ahead. So before I proceed ahead, I would request all you guys who are new to this channel or who haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There is a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon. Select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos. Let's move ahead. Let me give you 5 seconds to subscribe. After that, I will continue. So guys, I hope you must have subscribed by now. So let's continue. There are some points to remember while watching this video. Please watch this video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept, and if it's possible for you, please watch this video twice or as many times as you like until the concept gets clear to you. Perform any exercises in your test and lab environments only. Do not touch any production environment or production databases. We would like to know your thoughts regarding our videos, so please do share your comments, post in your suggestions, reviews, feedbacks, any questions, any requirements, any day-to-day experiences with SQL Server. You may also let us know about any of the situations where my content has helped you somewhere in some way. So do post in your comments guys. We eagerly wait for them and would love to read the same. We have created some playlists for you to watch. Some of the SQL playlists are database design, tables, business continuity, indexing, performance tuning, integration services, and transact SQL playlist. This video belongs to the database design category, which has more than 75 videos, more than 75 videos at present. So guys, why we create playlist for you? Because we think playlists are the best way to learn stuff. So for example, if you want to learn about any particular domain, for example, if you want to learn about database design domain in SQL Server, what we would recommend is go to the playlist and watch out all the videos under the database design playlist from starting till the end. The link for all these playlists are given in the video description area of this video, so please check these out. Apart from that, we have a Python programming workshop playlist as well, which we had just started and contain few videos for now. But yeah, we will keep on adding videos to this playlist. We have more than 225 videos posted on our channel. So please check all these videos out, and I have a channel page link as well. So link is also given there in the video description area, which is showing up there at the bottom of this slide. The link is there in the video description area as well in case you want to copy the link. Let's come back to today's topic, which is binary large data objects. So let me take you to notes. We need to write some notes regarding this. So this will be a little bit theoretical session. So if we talk about SQL Server, SQL Server provides solutions for storing files and documents in the database or on remote storage devices. So these are the two places where we can store our files and documents, and we can remotely store our file and document as well on the remote storage devices. Now let's talk about various options available for storing blobs in SQL Server. Blobs which are a binary large data object. So let's talk about what all options we have in SQL Server for storing the binary large data object. So the first option we come across is the file stream in SQL Server. Let's talk about file streams. So basically, what's the role of FileStream? So FileStream enables SQL Server based applications. So any of the applications that interact with SQL Server. So basically, FileStream enable those applications or SQL Server based applications to store any unstructured data, such as documents, if applications want to store documents and maybe images on the file system. So FileStream provide that type of facility to those applications so that they can store documents and images on the file system itself. And applications, if we talk about, can take benefit, or I can say can leverage the rich streaming APIs and performance of the file system, and at the same time maintain transactional consistency between the unstructured data and corresponding or associated structured data. So what is the benefit of using FileStream? It basically enables the application to use the unstructured data in the form of documents and images, and applications can also take benefit of rich streaming APIs and performance of the file system, and at the same time applications can maintain transactional consistency between the unstructured data, which are documents and images, and the corresponding structured data, that is associated structured data related to that unstructured data. So it's a combination of both unstructured data and structured data, and ability to access unstructured data is provided by FileStream to the applications. The next option for storing the binary large objects is given by the file tables. So this is another concept in SQL Server. So let's talk about file tables here. The file table feature brings support for the Windows file namespace and compatibility with Windows applications to the file data stored in SQL Server. So let me take you through this definition. Using the file table feature, if we talk about, provides support for Windows file namespace, and it also has compatibility with the Windows applications to the file data stored in the SQL Server. And if we talk about the file table, we talk more about the file table. File table lets an application integrate its storage and data management components and provides integrated SQL Server services at the same time, including the full text search and semantic search as well. Semantic search over the unstructured data and metadata. So if we talk in other terms, or in other words, you can store files and documents in special tables. So we can store the files and documents inside the special tables in SQL Server, and these are called file tables. So in file tables we can store files and documents but access them from Windows application. So although these documents and files are stored inside the file tables, Windows applications can still access them as if they were stored in the file system without making any changes to your client applications. Now let's let's talk about next component. Let's talk about the remote blob storage. So here we are talking about the external. So let's talk about remote blob store, which is also known as RBS. So this is a remote blob store, and it's available inside SQL Server. So if we talk about the remote blob store, so remote blob store or RBS for SQL Server lets database administrators store binary large objects, also known as blobs, in commodity storage solutions instead of directly on the server. So if we are using a remote blob store instead of the FileStream and file tables, this feature allows SQL Server to store the binary large object data onto the commodity storage solution instead of the directory on the server itself. And basically this helps in saving the significant amount of space and avoids wasting expensive server hardware resources. So by using the remote blob storage, we can save on the amount of disk space, we avoid wasting expensive server hardware resources. And if we talk about RBS or remote blob storage, this provides a set of API libraries that define a standardized model for applications to access the blob data. And if we talk about RBS, it also includes maintenance tools such as garbage collection to help manage remote blob data. And if we talk about RBS, it is included on the SQL Server installation media, but it is not installed by the SQL Server setup program. Alright guys, so we are done with this topic. Today we have discussed about the binary large object data, and we have talked about the options for storing the binary large objects. Now let's discuss them all individually. So let's talk about the storage options in detail, much more detail. So let's first talk about the file streams which are within the SQL Server. And basically if we talk about file streams, FileStream enables SQL Server based applications to store unstructured data like images and documents, such as documents and images on the file system. Applications can use the rich streaming APIs and performance of the file system, and at the same time maintain transactional consistency between unstructured data and corresponding structured data. So this is the same definition as before, although I've written it again. So this is the same definition which was mentioned over here. This is totally the same. Now let me talk something additionally about it. additional about it. Now, if we talk about FileStream, FileStream uses the anti-system cache, which is the operating system cache, for caching the file data. And caching files in the system cache, if we talk about, helps in reducing the impact that FileStream data might have on database engine performance. So basically, caching the files in the system cache helps reduce any impact that FileStream data might have on the database engine performance. So caches are basically the faster memories in which the data is stored, so that it should not hamper the performance of the database engine. And before we discuss this point further, let me introduce some more point in between. So if we talk about FileStream, FileStream integrates the SQL Server database engine with an NTFS or anti-file system or REFS file systems. So FileStream basically helps us in integrating the SQL Server database engine with the NTFS or REFS file systems by storing var binary max, binary large objects or blob data as files on the file system. And basically if we talk about transact SQL statements here, they can insert, update, query and search and even backup file stream data. And basically Win32 file system interfaces provides streaming access to the data or blob data if we talk about. Next we were talking about the file stream using the anti-system cache or operating system cache for caching the file data, and basically caching this files in the file system cache. So basically caching the files in the system cache help reduce any impact that file stream data might have on the database engine performance. The SQL Server buffer pool is not used as the files are being stored in the anti-system cache. So SQL Server buffer pool is not used. Therefore, this memory is available for query processing. Alright, let's go ahead and discuss something more about the file streams. So file stream isn't automatically enabled. So by default, file streaming is not enabled when you install or upgrade the SQL Server. You must enable file stream by using SQL Server Configuration Manager. So SQL Server Configuration Manager can be used to enable the file streams, and SQL Server Management Studio must be used as well to enable the file streams. And to use file stream, you must create or modify a database to contain special type of file group. So we were talking about the file stream file groups while we were discussing the database properties. If you haven't watched my videos on the database properties, please go ahead and do so. So here we are discussing the same thing. To use file streams, you must create or modify the database to contain special type of file groups called the file stream file groups. So first we create a special type of file groups called file stream file groups. Then we create and modify a table so that it contains var binary max column with the file stream attribute. Next thing we need to do is create a table with var binary max column, and that column must have a file stream attribute. And after we complete these tasks, we can use transact SQL and Win32, which is basically an API, to manage the file stream data. Alright, so let's discuss about the situation which calls for using the file stream data or file stream file groups. Let me make this a heading. So when to use file streams. In SQL Server, if we talk, blobs can be standard wide binary max data that stores the data in tables. So if we talk in terms of SQL Server, blobs can be defined as a standard wide binary max data that stores the data in tables basically, or file stream var binary max, we can say, objects that store the data in the file system. So in SQL Server, what can be considered as blobs? Blobs can be a standard var binary max data that gets stored inside the tables, or maybe file stream var binary max object that are stored as data in the file system. The size and use of data determines whether you should use database storage or file system storage. If the following conditions are true, you should consider using the file streams. So I'm mentioning few of the conditions which allow you to use the file stream. So under these conditions you should use file streams. So if we have objects that are being stored are on average larger than 1 MB. So if we are storing the kind of objects that are larger than 1 MB size, then yeah, we should consider using the file streams. And we can consider using file stream when the fast read access is important. In those cases, we should use file stream. We can use file stream if you are developing the applications that use a middle tier for application logic. In those cases as well, you can use the file stream. If we talk about the smaller objects, so for any smaller objects, storing var binary max blobs in the database. So if the objects are small, storing those objects within the database often provides better streaming performance. So if the objects are smaller than 1 MB, then yeah, we should use tables. Otherwise, we should do, if they are greater than 1 MB, we should use file systems. Now let's talk about the file stream storage. So if we talk about file stream storage is implemented as a var binary max column in which the data is stored as binary large object or blobs in the file system. So file stream storage is implemented as var binary max column in a table in which the data is stored as blob in the file system. The sizes of the blobs are limited only by the volume size of the file system. The standard var binary max limitation of 2 GB file sizes doesn't apply to the blobs that are stored in the file system. So they can be greater than 2 GB file size limitation. And to specify that a column store or should store data on the file system, specify the file stream attribute on a var binary max column. Alright, we'll show you shortly how to do that. And basically this file stream attribute, if we talk about, causes the database engine to store all data for that column on the file system. So if a particular column, which is a var binary max column, if we enable the file stream attribute on that particular column, the SQL Server database engine store all the data in that column on the file system itself, but not in the database file. And if we talk about the file stream data must be stored in file stream file groups. So if we talk about file stream file groups, a file stream file group is a special file group that contains file system directories. So file system file group is a special kind of file group that contains file system directories instead of the files themselves. And these file system directories are called data containers. So if we talk about these file system directories, these are called data containers. And data containers are the interface between, database engine storage and file system storage. So let me take you through this paragraph again. File stream data must be stored in the file stream file groups, and if we talk about file stream file group, these are special kind of file groups that contain file system directories instead of the file themselves. And the file system directories are basically called data containers, and these containers are the interface between the database engine storage and the file system storage. Alright, let's move ahead. And whenever you use the file stream storage, please consider the following. So I'm mentioning some items here which you need to consider while using the file stream storage. So when a table contains a file stream column, each row must have a non-null unique row ID. So that's the requirement. If a table contains a file stream column, each row must have a non-null unique row ID. Multiple data containers or multiple file stream file groups can be added to a file stream file group. So multiple containers can be added to a file stream file group, and file stream data containers cannot be nested. So that is one more important point. The containers cannot be nested inside one another, And whenever you are using failover clustering, the file stream file groups must be on shared disk resources. So whenever we are using clustering with SQL Server, you need to make sure that your file stream file groups must be on a shared disk resources instead of a local disk. And if we talk about file stream file groups, they can be stored on compressed volumes as well. So guys, we are done with the part 1 of this video. In next video, I will start with the integrated management of file stream file groups. So we will talk more on that. And I'm ending this part here because it's almost like a 35-minute video we have recorded. So I'm ending the part 1 here. We will split this video on file streams and the blob data storage into multiple parts. Maybe around 5 or 6 parts are required to cover the complete blob topic and the options available to store the blob data. So right now we are going on with the file stream option that is available to store the blob data. And we are not yet done with this topic, but we have discussed a few of the items related to this topic. In the next video, we will cover the integrated management in while using the file stream file groups. So keep in touch, guys. I hope you like this video. If you really like this video, please click on the like button. And guys, if you are new to this channel and haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. There's a subscribe button below this video. Click on the subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos. And do post in your comments, guys, any feedback, reviews, suggestions, requirements, reviews, and day-to-day experiences with SQL Server. You may share any stories where my content has helped you somewhere in some way. Do mention about that. We eagerly wait for your comments and would love to hear back from you. And also, guys, if you have a good network of friends, please share my videos with them, and if they are working in the SQL Server domain, please do share my videos with them, and also ask all your friends to subscribe to my channel. So this is the help I require from your end. Guys, I hope you need some more videos on the binary large object data storage in SQL Server. So I will create some in upcoming days. Do post in comments if you need videos on the binary large objects, more videos on this topic. I will create some. Alright guys, I thank you so much for your time on this video today, and you have a wonderful day ahead.